Good. I'm checking the streaming, so we are starting in any moment. Good. So here we are. Hello, everyone. I think we are live here. Okay. Hello, everyone. We are welcome everyone to our third Core Analytica Data Webinar. Okay. My name is Alan Fernandez, co-founder of Core Analytica, and today we have Thais Cooke. Thais is a data analyst who successfully pivoted her career to technology. Okay, so she will be sharing with us some tips, experience, and interesting knowledge she acquired throughout this journey. Hello, Thais. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me here, Alan. It's a pleasure.
Good, good. Okay, so you're a data analyst. You are based on North Carolina, right?
That's
So,
right.
um, your story, your
Mhm.
experience transitioning, entering the world of technology,
Mhm.
specifically the world of data analysis, is very interesting. So today we want our audience to get to know you, get to know your experience, get to know, all your journey to the place you are in this moment. So,
Mhm.
let's start with this interview, with this event, with this conversation.
Mhm.
So, uh, first of all, can you tell us what was your previous career before entering the world of data analytics, and what motivated you to make the switch to this career?
Yeah, sure, Alan. So I was actually my background, my degree is in dentistry. I am from Brazil. I'm a dentist in Brazil. And I came here to the United States about 17 years ago. I never practiced as a dentist here, but I did practice as a dental hygienist for
Hmm.
about 11 years. So I was in the clinical side, going to the office every day, treating patients daily. And when COVID hit, I was already burned out for many different reasons. Not going to go into details. I'm going to be talking here until tomorrow. I don't want to do that to your audience, but I was already burned out for many reasons. And COVID hit, and that was the last push that I had to just, you know what, I need to do something. I cannot be doing this for the rest of my life. And I went completely 180 from clinical dental hygienist, seeing patients every day, and today I'm a data analyst. So from one field completely different to another one.
But how do you choose the word data analysis? We know that there is a lot of demand for data analysis
Mhm.
professionals, but how did you make that decision of hey, let's go for data analysis?
Well, I think the thing too is I'm a problem solver. I like to solve problems, and I ended up in data analytics almost, I wouldn't say by accident, but pretty much when COVID hit, that's when, like I said, I decided to take a step back, take a deep breath. I have to do something else with my life. I cannot do this the rest of my life. And I mentioned to a good friend of mine that I wasn't working, at the moment. I was trying to decide what to do. A few weeks later, she contacted me. She said, listen, I need someone who has the business knowledge, who knows dentistry and knows all the dental terminology to enter the order. She worked for a dental lab. They're receiving a lot of orders every day. And she said, we receive those orders online. We put everything in the spreadsheet, put everything in our website, and send that out. So I need somebody that is going to maintain those spreadsheets, that is going to enter the data, maintain those spreadsheets. And I need somebody who knows the industry. Do you want to do that? So I started by doing that, and I'm like, sure, why not? So I started doing that, and after a few months, I started noticing some patterns in the data, and okay, this is interesting. This month we are receiving a lot of orders from this office, and oh, this month we're having so many implants, and last month we didn't have many crowns. And I start the wheels on my brain start going, and you know what? I wonder if I can analyze this data. How can I analyze this? So I literally went on Google and put how to analyze data. And I feel like I fell into a rabbit hole. I ran into Alex, the analyst YouTube channel, and he has one of his episodes saying how he transitioned from healthcare into data analytics, which I didn't
Very
even know
common.
was possible. And is this possible? And one of the videos he said, you have to know SQL. You have to know SQL. I didn't even know what SQL was, but okay. And I made a decision. I said, listen, I'm going to try learning SQL. If I can learn this, great. If it's something that goes completely over my head, forget it. That's not what I want to do. As soon as I started writing some lines of code, I said, that's it. I fell in love with SQL. I said, this just makes complete sense. And oh my God, the possibilities of what I can do with this data are endless. So I started learning SQL, got my way around Excel, got my way around SQL. I started doing projects, went back to my previous, to my main goal, which was to analyze those spreadsheets in my work. And I started doing that, creating those visualizations. I went to my boss and I said, listen, I analyzed the data we have. Is this helpful? And she said, how did you learn to do this? And I said, well, just got curious. And she's, yes, please keep doing this. I need this information. I need to know which offices are ordering what. Please do that. And that's how it started. And the rest is history.
Interesting. You mentioned two topics. First is business knowledge, and second is curiosity, which are requirements for to be a successful data analyst.
Mhm,
But apart from that, what do you remember? What do you remember about the challenges you faced during this
mhm,
transition, and how do you overcome these challenges?
mhm.
And apart from that, in your experience, what advice would you give to someone who is trying to do the same, trying to pivot their career?
I think the main challenge for somebody who pivoted their career is very similar to a challenge of somebody who just graduates. They want to get a job, but people who are hiring are just hiring people with experience. But how are you
Exactly.
going to get experience if you don't have a job? So it's a cycle. So one of the ways I found to break the cycle is to do what I just did. I had that data and I start analyzing. Of course, I always recommend get permission first to analyze the data. Don't go around, doing things your company that you're not supposed to. But get permission to analyze that data and see if you can help that way. And if hey, I don't have a job, I don't know what to do, there's data everywhere. That's the beauty of data. Data is all around us. So download a data set, go on Kaggle, go to different websites that have those free and public data sets, and just
Yes,
get curious and create. And that's a way to kind of create experience on the side.
yes.
And
So,
this is what I know how to do. Yeah, no, go ahead.
so first is to one of the topic you mentioned. Well, sorry, one of the challenge you mentioned is to get a job. And for getting a job, you need to create a portfolio. You need to do something with the free data, with the abundant data, with a
Mhm,
lot of data that is
mhm,
available for free. So
mhm,
that's a good advice. So
mhm,
regarding your transition, let's talk about this roadmap, this road you have followed to become a data analyst. So,
mhm,
according to your experience, what are the most important skills or a knowledge that you need to have in order to successfully pivot their career? You mentioned
mhm,
SQL. You also
mhm,
mentioned business knowledge. What other
mhm.
skills can you mention?
So I would actually divide that almost in two different parts of an answer. You can have the hard skills and the soft skills, and they go hand to hand. It's about finding the soft spot. You can't just have hard skills and not have the soft skills, and you can't just rely on soft skills and not know the tools. So it's a soft spot between both. In the hard skills, I would say SQL, absolutely. And before SQL, Excel. That I mean, it seems to be so simple, and some people, Excel, really? But think about this: any company you go to, you are going to find a spreadsheet. either on Excel or on Google Sheets. You're going to find a spreadsheet. So you have to know how to do the pivot table, how to filter data, it's basic. It's basic knowledge. So definitely Excel, definitely SQL, and a visualization tool. You can learn either very popular Tableau or Power BI. I started with Tableau, and nowadays I use Power BI. So the good thing about data visualization tools is once you grasp that basic knowledge in data visualization, it's not really that hard to translate to another tool. So, and it's really impossible to know which requirements a company is going to have, like which tool the company that you're applying for is going to have. So just grasp those basic concepts in one tool and transfer to another if you have to. In the hard skills, I would say this: soft skills, like I said, business knowledge, 100%. And that's something that if you're transitioning from one career to the next, you can leverage that. So for instance, I came from healthcare. I leverage my knowledge in healthcare to go into data analytics. If you're coming from hospitality, for instance, you can go into the hospitality industry and do the data analytics there. You know the day of the hospitality business and so on. So business knowledge, like I mentioned, communication.
That's
Communication
important.
is so important. You can know how to make the most beautiful data model with no mistakes, how to clean data. If you can't communicate to your audience, either by, whatever it is, either written communication, speaking, or the visualization, it's for nothing, really. I mean, it's what is the point? You need to know how to communicate to people. Definitely. Those two, and critical thinking. Critical thinking is so important. You can't just run an analysis and, oh, those are the numbers. That's it. Let's say if you're doing a sales analysis and you see that the sales are 25%, and 1 month it spikes to 80%, you're like, whoa, hold on. Hands off, there's something wrong here. What happened this month? Is it something my analysis is dirty data, or is it something that really happened in the business? So have that critical sense and collaborate with other people too, hey, take a look at this. Do you think, what do you think of this analysis? Am I missing something? Having the collaboration with your peers, very important too. So
The human part of the data analysis, because data will be used by humans. Interesting. So I mean SQL, business knowledge, critical thinking, communication, a data visualization tool as well, and Excel. I mean, we will find, I mean, even when we are like in 50, 100, no, not 50, but like in dozens of years in the future, Excel will be there. Maybe we won't be here, but Excel will be here.
so be here,
I'm,
yes.
I'm pretty sure that will happen. Good. Okay, so let's talk about the rewards. I mean, what do you think are the most rewarding aspects what are of your career? So, I mean, it's hard to transition, okay, but what do you think about are the most rewarding aspects? What do you think? What parts of this career makes you happy about me being a data analyst?
Well, I think if you want to go into data analytics, you have to be a problem solver by nature. You have to enjoy solving problems. So even if it takes time, and most than likely you will.
You will.
So it will. You will take time to get to the answer. So definitely enjoy solving problems. And when I get the data set, it was that dirty data set, and I pull the insights and I clean, and the data starts speaking to me, let's say, and I'm, oh, so this is what is happening. And that's rewarding. But I think more rewarding than that is when you show those insights to the people that want to see, to those stakeholders, and they use your tool to guide their business decisions. That is so rewarding. That for me is the icing on the cake. When you see either your dashboard or your report or whatever it is, the products that you're developing, and people say, hey, the products that you did, we're using to guide our decisions. That is ice on the cake for me. So
Yeah,
that for me is really rewarding.
yes, in a board meeting, hey, that's my dashboard. I did that.
Yeah,
Okay, so yes,
yeah.
so this impact you mentioned, I also think I agree with you that one of the most rewarding aspects of this career, knowing that what you do can make an impact. I mean, at every level, not only like an executive
Mhm.
level, but even at a professional level.
Oh, yeah.
Good. So, okay, when you are transitioning, you
Mhm.
actually make decisions, and with decisions
Mhm.
also come mistakes. What do you think? What are the most common mistakes that any professional, any person might make when trying to pivot their career? You mentioned one before, which is trying
Mhm.
to get a job without having
Mhm.
experience, but you don't have
Mhm.
experience, so you can get a job. So we know how
Mhm.
to solve that. To create a portfolio, to start from
Mhm.
scratch something. But okay, so what other mistakes, errors people is making usually make when in this role, in this
Mhm.
roadmap to become a data analyst?
I think one of the mistakes that people do is jump right into programming tool or machine learning, or like somebody, oh, I want to transition into data analytics. I'm going to learn machine learning. Oh, great. Do you know SQL? No, not really. Do you? Oh, okay. Do you know Excel? Do you know visualization? Oh, I have an idea of how to use this, but I really want a machine learning. And hey, if anybody can do this, good for them. That's not how I work. I prefer to have that basic knowledge really, really well set in my head. And if you look around, most of entry level data positions, they're going to ask for the basics. I have been doing data analytics for about a couple of years now. And just now I'm starting to feel the need of, you know what, I need to learn a programming language to make my life easier. And if I want to get to the next level, it's good that I had that. But it was not something that was required to for the entry level position. Definitely not. So I think people they rush into the programming language or the very hard thing to, to do, and then I get frustrated. And why this is so hard to learn? It's not really hard. You just have to know the basics first. I think that's a mistake that people do. But hey, if somebody can go that route before and it's working, good for them. But that's not my case.
Baby step. I mean, and actually,
Baby
not
steps.
only not only the people, actually companies. I mean, they try to build AI, machine learning solutions without having a solid
Mhm.
foundation. They don't have a data warehouse, or they don't have even clean data. So I mean that's a mistake.
Mhm.
What you mentioned is a mistake at every level, personal level
Mhm.
and like company level. That's the interesting
Yeah.
part.
Mhm.
Good. This part about learning. Okay, what
Mhm.
resources or reading materials or
Mhm.
videos would you suggest to a
Mhm.
professional who's trying to
Mhm.
learn how to transition their
Mhm.
career? You mentioned before Alex the analyst. It's
Yeah.
an awesome guy. He's doing great content. Okay,
Yeah.
what other learning resources did you use or would you recommend?
Yeah, so I'm one of those people, I learn by doing and I learn by making mistakes. I envy people who can sit and watch a video and be done with it. I envy those people. I'm not one of them. I have to really download the data set and do it. So I think, let me see, Data Camp is something that I use. I like their format because they show you the theory in a video and then you do exercises related to that right away. So it's a practice. I like that format. I did in the beginning W3 schools. They also have exercises and how to do. I remember learning joins in there, inner joins, left join, right join. I learned in there the concept. I also like from there, I took a step ahead and started to do guided projects. Just go, this is how you do this project. And not only watching, downloading the data set and going my computer and wait a second, what did you do now? And doing the same.
Step
Almost
by
like
step.
training
Mhm.
wheels. Yeah. And after I got confidence on that, try to mimic that guided project into another project. So something unguided. And oh, hold on a second. How did I do this window function again? And go back to the guided project. Oh, okay, this is how I did. And then go in an unguided project. So guided projects, Maven Analytics is another one that I always use. They have a data playground set there that they give you the data set, give you the challenge, and the questions that you have to, that they suggest that you answer. That's another one too. So anything that I can get my hands dirty with it, that's for me is the best way to learn.
I mean, to summarize what you said something interesting. Learning by doing.
Yeah.
This is the I mean the best way
Mhm.
to avoid forgetting what you learn.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
actually do, it's harder to forget. Good point.
Yeah. Mhm.
Let's talk about something that actually, and I told you before when we spoke, impressed me a lot. You were one of the persons in LinkedIn, the content creators in LinkedIn, that were showing, okay, portfolio. I mean, you are not the only one, but you
Mhm.
stress that part, and I saw your
Mhm.
portfolio in LinkedIn, and it was impressive. It's not impressive because it was like 1,000 of projects, but it was well organized portfolio. I like that. It was you mentioned you use visualizations, so you put hours there. So it's easy to notice that you put a lot of work in that portfolio.
Mhm.
That's something you should people should do. But let's talk about now this portfolio. Okay, what do you think are the most important factors and some common mistakes as
Mhm.
well that people used to make when creating a portfolio?
Well, I think one of the mistakes that I see is when people put something that has been used over and over again. For instance, the Titanic data
The
set. I don't know how many times I have seen that. I mean,
the logistic relation problem, yes, I mean,
oh
is the
my
first in
God.
KO.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that when you're first starting and you are, trying to grasp those concepts. Don't put that in a portfolio, though. I wouldn't put that in a portfolio. I would use that for practice. When you're creating a portfolio, if you have industry defined, if you say, I want to go into healthcare analytics, you know what? Create a portfolio that has things related to healthcare, like COVID outbreak, big one right now. Hospital bedding, like does this hospital has enough bedding for patients? Things like that. So something really related to solving the problems in that industry. I would do that. If you don't have a industry that you really, I don't know. I'm up to any industry right now. Do some projects that are different that people haven't seen before, and or personal data. That's something also that you can analyze and showcase. So I would do things and do a little variety, like you can do project in SQL, another project in showing your Tableau skills, another one showing your Excel skills, and so on.
Good. So it's so to summarize is you should I mean anyone who wants to do to create a portfolio should relate it to some field that they know that they have experience
Mhm.
in. So that's a
Mhm.
good. So your portfolio, I cannot remember all the projects, okay, but they are related to something about healthcare, right?
Some projects, yeah. Some are because I wanted to leverage my background in healthcare into data analytics. That's why some of them are, some are not. So some are
Or
just because I was curious.
or even personal data, something with your contacts, something with you can start like with 100 records.
Hmm.
So that's
Yeah,
it's easy to start when you want to. Okay,
yeah.
so can you tell me about a particular data project that
Mhm.
you included in your portfolio, something that maybe took some work or you found interesting, or some of the projects in your portfolio that you
Mhm.
like to talk about, to share about.
It's just like asking me who is my favorite kid. I like all my, I like all the projects. They all are special to me.
You can choose more than one if you want.
Yeah. Now, I think the latest one that I did, I track, that's again personal data. I track my sleep patterns. So I noticed that I was very tired in the morning and throughout the day, and you know why am I so tired? And I thought, you know what, it's because my sleep is getting interrupted throughout the night. I'm not sleeping a solid, amount of hours. That's what I thought. So I'm like, you know what? Let me track my data. So I downloaded an app on my phone that recorded the sounds and, in my room and everything. And I hit the play button of, okay, I'm going to sleep now. The next morning, I'm awake. And then I put in there how many times did I wake, how long I was awake for, and what did I do the day before? Did I work out the day before? Did I have a late meal the day before? Things like that. And how did I feel in the morning? Am I tired in the morning? How did I feel 5, 6 hours later? Am I still tired? So I collected that data for about 3 months.
Wow.
And yeah, for about 3 months. Took a lot of discipline to do that. Miss a couple of days here and there, but collected that for 3 months. Put that on a spreadsheet in Excel. That was the boring part, to enter everything, but I did it. And then I analyzed that. And the reason why I like is because I also wanted to take my SQL skills to the next level. So that particular project, I use store procedures, I use parameters, which was something that I want to understand a little bit more of this. So that's a project that I used to do that. And that was actually my first project in Power BI too. That's when I was starting to transition to Power BI. So I think that's why I really like my project. And I got some interesting sites out of it too. So
That's exactly what you talk about. You mean personal
mhm,
data. We all
mhm,
generate data with our watches, with our
mhm,
clocks, phones. So
mhm,
that's some interesting way to get value out of our personal
mhm.
data. That's
Yeah.
a good point as well. Okay, I I I reached out to you through LinkedIn because
Mhm,
I started following you a time ago, because the content you create.
mhm,
Uh, how do you think that people who want to transition to data
mhm,
analysis, to data analytics, can use social media or other platforms to promote their data portfolios or their work so that I mean, they get everyone to know their work? How do you
mhm.
think people can use social media?
Well, I think first people have to the the network of people on LinkedIn. Imagine LinkedIn is a lot, it can be a lot like real life. So if I was in a company and I want to transition into data analytics, let's say I'm in finance and I want to go into data analytics department, what would I do? I would hang out with other data analysts. I would go in during lunch in the cafeteria. I would, hey, you're a data analyst. Let's have lunch. Let's have lunch. Hi. More about what you do, and so on. So on LinkedIn is the same. You follow people who are creating content, who are in this industry, and this person has very good insights. Go and comment on their posts. Click up, like, comment, say what you like about it, and exchange ideas is a way to, it's a give and take. I mean, again, make an analogy to real life. You'd never go in a network event, walk to somebody that you never met and go, hey, I love what you said there. Can you get me a job in your company? You'd never do that. So it's the same on LinkedIn. Don't do that. Please do not do that. Interact with the person. And once, people see, hey, this person is actually really cool, and has some interesting sites, you create the base, you create the network. That's when, it's okay to promote your portfolio. I remember when I created my portfolio, and again, my idea of a portfolio was after I interacted with a lot of people, and they said they're being successful with that. And for my surprise, I wasn't expecting anybody to promote in the portfolio, but I put in there, and because I had the network of, now I can say friends, and they, oh, look what Thais did. Guys, look at this. It was just something natural and organic. It wasn't anything, please promote my portfolio. Look what I did. It's because I had a relationship with people, and they were happy to help promote the portfolio.
Yeah, you mentioned something important, which is to have an organic network. You have to
Mhm,
interact with the people, you have to follow the people,
mhm,
and that organic way to interact with the people will lead you to promote your work. I mean, people actually will
mhm,
notice you. You don't need to promote it. That's
mhm.
the organic part
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
networking. Good.
Yeah.
And as a last question, do you have any advice for people who's creating their portfolio for the first time? For example,
Mhm,
what tool do you recommend to use? I mean, first of all, it's for free. I mean, creating a
mhm.
portfolio for free,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
have to know what tools you need to use. Okay,
Mhm,
I mean, what should include? Include code, visualizations. I
mhm,
mean, screenshots.
mhm,
So, what
mhm.
advice would you give to people to start creating a portfolio?
Well, I think the first thing, make sure that your portfolio is very well organized. That reflects a
Structure.
lot because
Yes.
companies want employees who are organized with their work. And the way you present your portfolio, if you have a portfolio that is a mess and it's very hard to, okay, this is the visualization, but where's the code for this? And they have to open another window to get it's not really that practical. So make your portfolio very organized because that reflects is a reflection of your work, of who you are. And go and make it as easy as possible for the end user to navigate. And my portfolio, when I first started, I did have people saying, "Oh, you know what? Looks great, but you can make this aspect a little easier." And I'm like, "You know what? You are right." And I went there and I fixed it to make it easier to the end user. Always with the idea of if a potential hiring manager goes into my portfolio today, are they going to find the information that they want? And making a way where you can show, okay, this is the problem, this is the solution that I achieve by using the data. If you want to see the code, this is the code right there. Just make it easy to navigate.
A structure of the portfolio. And what
Yeah.
I mean, what should people include in the portfolio? I mean, code, it's
Oh,
one
yeah.
thing. Screenshots,
Mhm.
maybe comments. Be sure to comment. What do you think about those other elements of the portfolio?
Oh, definitely, yes. If you're going to put a code there, you say, okay, this is the code. This is how I got to the percentage sales per month, let's say. And then you do the code. This is how I track whatever the metric it is. And definitely put those comments there and showcase how you did that. Do comments on the code. I would include the visualization, which is the final product, and then the backstage. Let's say, this is how I got to the final product, and tell your story that way.
I mean, apart from your portfolio is in GitHub, but would you recommend any other tool or just stick to GitHub?
Well, I use GitHub, but there are other tools that I'm not so familiar with. I think there was one called Vix, if I'm not wrong, VIX. Not so familiar with, but I heard good things about it. Maven Analytics also has a portfolio host, something to host a portfolio. DataCamp, I think now started also a way to host the portfolio too.
Yeah, good.
Uh, yes, I mean, I am not so familiar with those other tools, but I mean, do whatever you feel is easier to navigate. As long as you have that very well organized.
I mean, in my opinion, I mean, GitHub, the use, the tool you use, and I also use it. I mean,
Mhm,
I think I mean, it's the most complete one. I mean,
mhm.
it's not only a repository; it's a social network as well. So you
Yeah.
can find other interested people there.
Yeah.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the tips and all the knowledge, all the experience you have shared
Of
with
course.
us. Uh, I mean, to finish this conversation,
Mhm,
what do you think? I mean, do you want to share with us some final thoughts, some final
mhm,
recommendations, or for people who are starting? I mean, start something is the most
mhm.
difficult part. So you want to share
Yeah.
some final thoughts to the people, some advice, global advice for the person, for the audience who's trying to do what you did to switch their career, start in data analytics.
Mm. Sure. I would say to not give up. We have, and I'm include myself on that. We want to see results very fast. Everything that we do, I include myself on there. You want to see results fast, but sometimes good things take time and takes one step at a time. And everybody's reality is going to be completely different. I pivot my career into analytics, with two kids and a household to run and a job so for me, it took a longer time comparing to someone who maybe, I don't have those responsibilities. I have more time, or I took a leave at work so I can dedicate myself to that. So don't compare yourself to somebody else. Never. Stay in your lane and dedicate the little bit of time that you have into learning and improving. One day you might be towards learning a new tool. The other day you might be just updating your resume. The other day you might be building a portfolio, but little by little, with patience. Don't compare yourself to other people, but compare yourself to how you were 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. That's the comparison
Your
you need to do.
your own progress. That's good
Yes,
advice.
definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks. Thank you again for
of course.
sharing with us this valuable experience of you. Okay. With me the the goal of these conversations that
Mhm,
we publish in the Core Analytica Data Webinars is to inspire
mhm,
people to take action, to start doing analytics, or to
mhm,
just to have ideas, to get ideas, to improve
mhm.
themselves every day. Thank you again for
Of
your
course.
time, and I'll see you there. Thank you.
Of course.
Bye bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye bye.